today's video I want to talk about something really special. You'll notice that I'm not in my usual setup, which I do quite often now, because I'm currently in Morocco. I'm traveling. You guys know I've been saying it a little on the channel, and something actually happened yesterday, and I wanted to talk a tiny bit about something that actually forced me, that actually pushed me to travel, because you guys may think that I make money online, it's fine with me to travel and all that stuff, but sometimes you actually second guess all your choices, and you think about if it's really worth it, if you should not go back to your default mode, work 24/7, all that stuff, and not enjoy life. And this is going to tie a little bit into what I actually talked about in yesterday's video. But before we actually do, by the way, I'm offering one-on-one coaching and group coaching, group mentorship if you want to accelerate your growth on Amazon. There's a link in the description. There's a video where I explain the different options. Also, I have a free ebook that you will find in the description as well, that will teach you how to source. So if you have a hard time sourcing and finding new leads, check the ebook in the description. And this is basically what I did myself to actually reach the point where I'm at. It's my exact strategy when it comes to sourcing and what I do pretty much every day. Not every day anymore, because as you see, I've been enjoying life quite a bit. But yeah, so let's get back to the video. So the theme of the video and what I really want to talk about is the Stoics always say memento mori, which means remember that you will die. And the truth is that you will die. If there's one thing that you should know for sure, is that you will die, and that all the people that you love will die as well. So you guys know that back when I was in the US, when I was spending a lot of time when I was in the US, I've been living in the US for 10 years, and I actually started traveling 6 months ago, went back home in Belgium, all that stuff, and then started traveling the world a little bit. As I was saying, yesterday something happened that actually made me think a lot about all that stuff. It's not a YouTuber that is super famous in French, but she was quite famous. Yes, she was, because she passed away not too long ago, and we actually learned about it yesterday. And I had a hard time sleeping a little bit, because I thought about a lot of stuff because of this, because she was just a little bit older than me, right? And so the reason why I'm telling you all this, because as I said, she was not that famous, but she was really famous in the niche of traveling amongst black people. Because like when you black people are a little bit scared to travel around the world, because they think that everybody's racist. By the way, they're not. You can go everywhere in the world, nobody gives a fuck. And America is one of the most racist places on earth. So the only place where I've been called a nigger is in America. Okay, I've been in a lot of countries, I've been in a lot of continents. I've never been called a nigger in any other place than in America. In the street, by the way. So the reason why I'm telling you all this is because, as I said, before I actually started traveling, I spent a lot of time walking. I was walking more than 8 hours a day, especially with YouTube, with Amazon, with all the other stuff that I was doing. I was working 7 days a week, as you heard in yesterday's video, as I said, because it's going to tie back to this, right? I was working 7 days a week, a lot of hours a week. And yes, I'm working with my girl, all that stuff. We are working together, which makes it a little bit better, because we actually spend our life together, and we work together, all that stuff. So it's not like we are currently we're working a 9 to 5, right? But it's not because I've been a lot of during these times I've been traveling, I've been away from the US. I'm still paying rent in the US, all that stuff, by the way, which is quite expensive, because it's in Miami. It's quite expensive in Miami. It's an expensive place. But as I've been saying, I could have chosen to actually go back during Q4 and actually scale my business potentially to above 6 figures a month. And I chose to not do it, because I wanted to, if you watched yesterday's video, by the way, this is what I talked about. Because I haven't seen my family for 5 years. I've been stuck in Miami for more than 5 years for multiple reasons, and I actually talked about it in yesterday's video, so I'm not going to go too deep into that. But the reason why I'm telling you all this is because life is not just about working. And if you are working for a reason. And when you get in the daily operation of your business and you start working a lot, you start to get lost into that stuff, which is what I did. And I was forced to leave the US for a little bit, because I had to go back to Belgium, all that stuff. And this is really when spending time away from Miami, from the US, from the place where I really work, where I really grind, that I was able to realize that. And the reason why I'm making this video is because there's seasons in life, yes, and something that I find really corny is the FIRE movement, because you want to and the FIRE movement and trying to be super what's the word? Like being super cheap with the stuff that you spend money on, trying to save a lot of money, all that bullshit. And I find it really funny because you may not realize it, but you could actually leave this planet tomorrow. And if we meet in front of the pearly gates tomorrow, will you not have some regrets that you haven't seen the world, that you have been stuck in front of your computer on your desk every single day for the past 10 years? You haven't seen the world, you haven't seen your family. You haven't spent time with your family, which was my case, because for 5 years I was not able to see my family and all that stuff. And this person dying really made me realize that, because as I said, sometimes, yes, I'm traveling, it's costing money. Yes, I'm using a lot of credit card points to travel for free, all that stuff. But sometimes I'm still spending money on some activities, even though sometimes I use the points to pay for the activities. I'm spending money on sometimes cheap flights to go from one country to the other, on food sometimes, to try to enjoy the experience and all that stuff. And sometimes I'm actually second guessing my choice, because it may look like I'm not actually second guessing my choice, but I'm second. And it's not just with this, but even sometimes, even with running a business, being an entrepreneur and all that stuff, even if I know that I would not be able to stand working a job, I just cannot do it. And sometimes, yes, I think about, I have a lot of friends living the corporate life, all that stuff. I see that it sucks, I really see. But sometimes you start second guessing it, and you see, okay, oh, you have a company car, oh, it looks cool. You just go to a job, you don't even work, you bullshit your way, making people think that you work, and you have a car, you have all that stuff, you have an income that stays the same all the time. It's pretty comfortable. And so sometimes you second guess it. And same thing with the travel, sometimes I second guess it. I say, yeah, I'm actually spending a lot of money. I could, if I stayed in the US for the last 6 months, I would probably be at $150,000 a month in revenue right now. Maybe less, maybe in between 100,000 to 150,000 a month. Maybe trying to push towards 200,000. But it's just not the case. And so, was it worth it? And the answer is, when I learned that she passed away, the answer was yes, because at the end of the day, you are not going to live with your money, and you should really experience this life, because there's a lot of stuff to do. Like at some point, you get lost into chasing revenue, chasing all that stuff, but it's really meaningless. There's nothing, like, for example, my little cousin that had no memories of myself, because she's pretty young. Okay, she's 14, 15. She just turned 15. And by the way, in our culture, like, our little cousins are basically like little brothers or sisters. And so she had no memories of me, okay? Because when I left for the US, I remember I saw her at my aunt's house the day before I left. And for multiple reasons, she was super young and I did not see her a lot. But she made me this bracelet, and it really broke my heart a little bit that she really had no memories of myself. And, when I see it, I could have a Rolex on my wrist. Okay, I could have an Audemars, I could have a Rolex, I could have all that stuff. But this stuff is way more meaningful for me than having a Rolex, and seeing the smile of the people that you love, of your family, all that stuff, being able to see them, being able to experience life with them, is way more meaningful than actually chasing revenue, all that stuff. And this is really what I want you to get from this video, because yes, sometimes you second guess it, because I spent a lot of money, as I said. The business could be way higher, but I've been able to see a lot of places that all that stuff that I was actually dreaming to do, but that I did not do because I was chasing the business, all that stuff. I was stuck in the US with I was really trying to get everything done, the US, all that stuff, which I could have done. I could have actually done it earlier, left the US earlier, but I was really waiting for everything to fall into place, all that stuff. And at one point, you just need to start doing what you really want to do and not doing all that stuff that actually does not matter. What is an extra zero going to do on my bank account? Nothing. But I will remember whatever I've been experiencing. Because I've really been traveling for the last 6-7 weeks, almost every week a new country. 6, 7, 8 weeks, I think, something like this. And I will keep these memories for the rest of my life, okay? And it's beyond, experience is beyond all that stuff. And so if there's something that I want you to get from this video, that's it. Remember that you will die and try to experience as much stuff as you can. And some stuff is actually way more important than actually trying to grow your business a little bit more. That extra money is not going to do anything for you, okay? And if your dream is actually to, because I know that there's a lot of guys in the US that actually want to leave the country, to live life in another country, and because it's cheaper, because all that stuff, start traveling, okay? And the good thing is that if you have some credit cards, okay, you spend a lot of money on inventory, you're going to be able to travel. Like 90% of all the expense regarding your travels are going to be free because of that, right? So just do it, do not wait. If you really dream of traveling and doing all that stuff and potentially moving overseas and live life overseas, all that stuff, do it, do not wait. Because you never know when you can, as I said, when will be the time that you will be called and that you will see the pearly gate, as we say. So do it and start enjoying life, and do not be stuck in front of your computer. Because as I said, and I will finish on this, there's a time for everything, and there's different seasons in life, and there are some seasons where you need to grind, like I did for 5 years, almost not taking a day off. There are some seasons where it's actually time to enjoy, to actually spend the money that you made a little bit. And yes, your business is not going to grow as fast, but it will be way more fulfilling to do it this way than to do it the other way. So yeah, that's for today's video. I hope you liked it. I'll see you tomorrow for a new video.